Hello and welcome to another edition of Campus Dad. That's me. I used to be a father of a girl on campus. Of course, she's not grown up, but we had our moments, we had our times, and I want to use this show to examine the father-daughter relationships. Not just a general father-daughter relationship. We always say, "Main papa ki pari hoon." The girl is so besotted with the father. And the father says, yes, the daddy's girl, yeah, and very proud of these things. But underlying, there are expectations, there are aspirations, dreams, and fears that no one ever speaks about. As long as you're towing the line of daddy, you're a good girl. The day you step out a little bit, not so good. So these causes issues, a lot of them. And these issues become the cornerstone of your daughter's life going forward. So this show is not just for the campus gal, it's more for the campus dad, who I represent. And through this conversation with campus gals, hopefully you'll get a little more insight into what you should or maybe shouldn't do with your gal on campus. My name is Anil Srivatsa, and today we have with us on the hot seat Maithreyi.
Hello.
Well, Maithreyi, that is really brave of you for coming in here and having a chat with me about your relationships with your father. Okay? How do you feel about that?
A little nerve-wracking because I have a fairly, I wouldn't say conflicted, but my relationship with my dad is kind of rocky because, as you very rightly mentioned right in the start, I have been bestowed with the title of daddy's girl my whole life. But again, as you rightly said, the second I grew up a little bit and I started doing things maybe the way I would think that I would want to, it was immediately, you're not daddy's girl. You're not the daddy's girl that you always were. What happened to you? And I was like, I don't think I did much differently other than just choose a few things for myself. But nonetheless, it is a lot harder to talk about this because I don't have a very bad relationship with my dad. If anything, I hold an extremely high position in his life. He has a soft corner for me, which a lot of people in my family resent me for.
Do you have a brother?
Yes, an older one, who he has, again, very rocky relationship with, worse off than mine, but he's more of a mama's boy, as it goes in all families. So I do hold a very big soft spot from my dad, but nonetheless, the dad in him always does come out. So,
Well, see, we're talking about college gals and their fathers. Why college gals? Campus gals? Most people ask me. And it's because of this. Little girls in school, she's a lot more supervised. Supervised in school, supervised definitely at home, which is a good thing. With today's world out there, especially with unsuspecting human trafficking, that's the age group that they really target. And it's good that you supervise your daughter as much as you do. But then comes college. What happens at that time? The daughter gets a little more independence, wants to assert that, and the father gets even more protective. Why? There's boys around, the predators, right? So it's a very precarious time in a college girl's life. Newfound freedom, and yet you're not out there in the big bad world. And what does your relationship with your daughter prepare her for when she crosses that line? And your rocky relationship with your father, when did that start? Or when did it escalate?
it happened right after I finished school. It was immediately after my 10th grade, where the school I went to was barely a kilometer away from my house. And the PU college that I chose to go to was 13 kilometers away from my house.
You chose to go there.
It was again a whole discussion about, okay, you're entering PUC, you need to be careful. Boys are going to be all around you. You need to be careful who you
Right.
do. And I was like, yeah, okay. So then we mutually came to a decision that I would go to an all-girls college until I get used to the idea of, okay, you have a newfound freedom.
So, but why did you pick a college 13 kilometers away from home?
Because that was my idea of maybe a slight rebellion, I guess,
Okay.
to be able to, one, convince my parents that I'm responsible enough to take on that travel, maintain my attendance, do everything the way I have to. And two, because I had been living in I went to the same school for 10 years. So I had been living in that bubble for the last 10 years of my life. And from what I've heard, apparently, before I was 6, we had traveled half the world. And I have absolutely no memory of that because I was a kid.
Sure.
So the 10 years that I was here, I was really sick of it. It was monotonous. I was like, I need something new. I need to see new people.
But what about your communication with your father growing up? How was that?
So my dad's always been the kind of guy that is like, you can talk to me, but where I take your opinions or what I consider is fully up to me. And he was raised by a police officer. So he has his...
Everyone carries
strictness.
baggage, huh?
And that's one thing that makes me... I feel like this is a curse and a blessing all in one. Where a lot of the times when I do resent my dad for maybe the way he talks to me or the decisions that he makes for me, maybe I'm empathetic or maybe I just read him better. But immediately I feel a sense of guilt for resenting him because I'm like, but you went through it too. You had this going on.
So do you think your dad has this thing that, hey girl, I had it tough, you have it tough now?
I feel like he thinks he's making it better for me because it's not as tough.
Okay.
But
What's so tough? What does he do that's so tough on you?
see, that's the thing. Everything he does, and I'm fully aware, comes from a good place in his heart. Obviously, my dad is not here trying to wreck my life. But in an effort to try and do that, the rules he imposes, I have a strict curfew. Which, again, I understand. You wouldn't want your little
What is
girl
that
out there in the
curfew?
dark. I have to be home by 6.
By 6?
By 6.
Even now?
Even now, as I'm almost 20.
You're not in a hostel. You're a day scholar.
Yes. I live at my house.
And what do you do? What are you studying?
I am studying Bachelor's of Science in Psychology.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you use this on your dad?
I try, but one more thing about my dad, huge intellectual. I used to call him a walking dictionary growing up. There is not one thing in the world he doesn't know.
Okay,
So
and what does he do? Which industry or business?
he
is
is in IT.
in IT. Okay.
Yeah,
But he's
so-
a geek.
Oh, big geek. There is not one thing in the world he doesn't know about. When I go and I try to tell him, Daddy, I am doing a course in this, I know. And he's like, no, I know. Trust me, I know.
And this is the symptom of all fathers. This I know symptom. And in all fairness to fathers, we're so used to having the girl say, yes, Daddy, until she leaves home. We're not used to having her say, no, Daddy. And try figuring out that psychology. Okay? Now you're in college. What are your main conflicts now?
With my dad?
Yeah.
I guess it really does mostly. He has now a problem with my quote unquote attitude.
And what attitude would that be, in his opinion?
In his opinion, I feel like he thinks I'm really defiant of him now. He thinks I'm making it a point to go against his rules. He's been told that, listen, especially older people, not just your parents, but older people have experience. So they know what is right and wrong. And if they tell you something is right or wrong, you shut up and you follow it.
And how do you feel about that? Do you think older people have more experience?
Sure, they do, but you don't have my experiences. What I'm doing with my life is...
Hey, campus dad, are you listening to that? Yeah, sure they do, but you don't have my experience. Okay.
So,
Sounds familiar? Is that something you said to your dad and mom? Think about that.
So I've done a lot of things, especially one with my dad. I feel like he is very protective in the sense that, oh my God, you're my little girl. You're a girl. The life is so much harder for you out there than for a guy. You know what? Your brother, he'll be fine out there. He'll figure his way out. He can fight it through. But you are like a fragile flower. And he keeps giving me that analogy of the prettiest flower gets picked first.
But did he ever make an attempt to make you as strong? Or he just fell into the patriarchal stereotype?
In a way, I guess so. He's always strived to make me more mentally strong than he made me
How?
fight.
By fighting with you and...
In a very, that's the thing. I know what he's like, so I would say it's a little convoluted maybe, but he tells me he is like, I will be the first villain in your life. I will be the one to teach you the hard lessons before life kicks you and says, you're learning it like this.
Are you sure you didn't exchange notes with my daughter?
It's a little
This
bit
is
of
sounding like an echo chamber right here.
Have you heard of a canon event?
Tell me about it.
So it is now a very popular pop culture phrase that is being used. A canon event is basically an event that just has to happen in everyone's life. So I
Canon
feel
event.
like, yeah,
Okay.
so this is a canon event in every girl's life.
Dads, I'm with you on this. If you can handle us, you can handle anybody out there. And that was my rationale on being really hard on my daughter. When I had to be, but have you played Monopoly ever?
Oh, yeah, we are.
So you know about the get out of jail free card. Has he ever given you one of those and told you what you could use it for?
I don't have a get out of jail
No?
free card. It is, listen, you did what you did, you messed up. I'm not going to let you get away scot free because if you haven't learned your lesson, I will make sure that you have.
There is a consequence?
There, if not a consequence, there is a lecture at least.
Oh, okay.
Right? So there is a.
ATG, all-time gyan.
Yeah, so there is always, you have to sit down. This is what you did. This is how you did it. How do you not realize your consequences? And I'm sitting there with my hand in my head saying, I do realize the consequences. I slipped up.
Do you switch off when that's happening?
Oh no, because I'm really close to my dad. And that's why I say Rocky, right? Like not Rocky in the sense like it's up and down. I'm so close to him, which is why he gets on my nerves a lot more. And I can't just be like, okay, you know what? If you're going to talk, I'm just going to listen. I end up here. I'm like, Daddy, no. Why don't you get it? I'm trying to tell you that I am figuring my way out and you just refuse to let me do that.
How's that working out?
Not great. Because he is very, very, very...
If he ever watches this show, and I hope he does,
Okay.
what would you like to tell him?
I mean, I guess I would like to say I love you and I'm really, really glad that you want me to be prepared for the tough stuff that has to come to light. But at the end of the day, you're my dad. You're my safe space. And if I cannot mess up in front of you, I cannot mess up in front of the world. And I want to be able to mess up in front of you and not be scared about it.
So, Dad, are you listening? And I hope you will. And for everyone else out there listening, you might want to reflect and think about how you and your daughter are going through these, I wouldn't say troubled years, but certainly interesting years. Because this girl is turning out to be a woman at this stage. She's discovering things you never wanted her to discover. And you cannot stop it because children are not for us, they're from us. And once they come from us, they end up thinking the way they want to think. Yeah, we have DNA and a strong one in there, but they also have the DNA of maybe your parents, your brother, your uncles, your aunts. How are you going to control all of that? It's almost cathartic for me. And I'm talking to myself about this. You have boyfriends?
None yet.
Why?
I'm not allowed to.
And you do everything that you're told. Come on. Be
No,
real.
I don't. Okay, so here's the thing. As I said, I was a daddy's girl for a lot of my formative years. And in a way that it was not that I wasn't allowed, but they would frown upon me even being close to guys. They'd
You
be
don't
like,
have boyfriends, as in friends who are boys?
now in college, for the first time in my life, I do.
Okay, and how's that going?
Surprisingly well. I mean, to the point where I used to be afraid of being friends with guys because I'm like, all of them are going to want me. They're all going to try to like
Hit on
get me. Yeah, they're going to try to hit on me. They're going to try to get married to me because that's how my entire family made it seem. I come from a very conservative family.
Okay.
So they were always like, listen, boys are risky business.
Aren't you nervous about being on this show? And
Heavily. If you saw my hands right now, they are shaking. But it's a leap of faith and I'm willing to take it. So.
well, that's good because we do have some shows we call the Ghungat series where we give the girl the option of wearing the Ghungat and speak freely. So this way she's anonymous. And
I was given that option.
yes, she was given that option. And kudos to you, Dad, that she chose not to use the Ghungat because you must have empowered her enough to be able to not wear it and live with her head held high. And that's what this whole Ghungat series is about. And you're listening to a show called Campus Dad, a show that explores relationships between college girls and their fathers. Not just girls in college, but if you are a girl, a woman now, but you're forever girls, would like to reflect on your relationship with your father because this is also generational. And maybe your insight into the generation you came from could be a pathway and a shining bright light for those navigating this relationship now. So I invite you to be on my show. And the other thing, I'd like to excuse myself, if you haven't noticed yet. I'm not very comfortable in front of the camera. I'm a radio guy. So I'm just treating this show like I would be doing a radio show. So pardon all the other distractions. Focus on what I say and not how I say it. So now tell me about these boys. Now have you taken them home?
I did take one
Would
of
you
my
like
guy
to?
friends. I really would. Because I feel like that would give my dad a minute to be like, okay, you know what? They're not the big bad wolves. Like, it'll be fine. But then again, his immediate question is, why even be close to one that you have to bring him home? Say hi, bye in college, and then get it over with.
Look, my dad used to give me sage advice. Okay, he said, Anil, there's safety in numbers. So maybe you could take 3 guys and 2 girls with them
Maybe.
as a group.
I could, but then again, he wouldn't mind it. He would be like, oh, okay, hi guys, and he'd speak to them for a little while. One thing about my dad is, again, he thinks because I am in my years of rebellion, as he likes to call it, I'm making bad choices in the people I surround myself with as well.
Okay.
So one is already like, even the girl
Was
friends
he
that you have.
right at any given point?
Not to my knowledge, no. I feel like maybe this is something I credit myself too much on, but I take a while to actually trust someone. I give them 3 strikes right in the beginning. And if you get those 3 strikes, you're out.
So you are daddy's girl. Clearly you have his DNA because he doesn't trust anyone either.
He does not.
Including you.
I take a lot of stuff from him, which is also why it's so frustrating to me. I'm like, I do the things you do and you still do not seem to believe that I could carry myself.
What are you
studying? Psychology.
Psychology. To be what?
A psychologist, hopefully, if that's where I can.
And what made you make those choices? And was that an independent choice? What did your dad want you to do?
My dad, that is one thing that I will always credit him for. He has been very supportive of anything I've wanted to study. And even if it was something that was unconventional, especially in India, people have a lot to say about, I was very into performing. I wanted to be a performer. And
Performing what?
And singing, both. I wanted to become as my delusions called it, a pop star.
Okay.
But I did talk to him about it and he said, look, if you're going to work for it, do it. But I don't think that should be the only thing you do. It's a really hit or miss career.
Did he tell you that I don't think so? You can try all you want. You're not getting there.
He only had one thing, again, because I'm from a conservative family. He had one thing, that these industries don't allow you to stay modest. You are
Modest meaning clothing?
Clothing and stuff like clothing, language, vulgarity. He's just like, that's not, and I agree, I'm not too comfortable with it myself too. So he's just like, don't put yourself in a place where you can't literally advance in your career if you do not resort to these things. So then I was like, okay, you know what, maybe not for me. And then I wanted to do literature. And he was like, sure, go for it. Why not? And I was like, okay. And then
as long as you wear full sleeves.
In a way, he used to tell me, he was just like, you look great in a suit. Find a job that would make you wear a suit. And I was like, you know what? That's actually so cool. I really will. And
in India?
Yeah, which is again really hard because apparently girls only have to wear churidars. That counts as formals.
Here, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. So post that, I got a centum in my 12th grade boards for psychology. And my mom told me, she was like, I think your strength really lies here. And I've always been the unpaid therapist in my life where people felt comfortable enough to come to me and be like, listen, my life is going to dogs right now. Please listen to me.
Does
and your
Does
advice
your father
helps.
come to you for therapy? Maybe
He may
he's
not
having some
admit it.
issues with his wife.
He may not admit it, but he does. Because he will tell me that, listen, I'm only telling you this because you asked me. I'm letting you in on a secret. But when he starts talking, I can just see his face is just like, God, finally, this is what I'm going through. Your mother, my job, you, your brother. Oh my God, my head is so full. And I'm like, yes, Daddy, it's okay.
Is that helping you with your relationship with him?
Yes, actually. I feel like that's the only thing we have going for us right now. If it is not those, pardon me, maybe this makes me sound a little shallow, but if it may be not for those moments of weakness he had in front of me, I feel like it would have been really easy for him and I to just like, you know what, I don't want to talk to you.
So because he's vulnerable with his feelings to you, you find him being a little more human.
100%. I can actually, the only reason I can say things like, I know he carries this from his childhood and all that stuff is because over the last few years, he has been open enough to come and tell me when he does feel that way, which he never did. And even now, if he does, he has a very classic statement of, you have to be resilient. which is the biggest like brain scratch for me.
Somewhere, do you think he's projecting what he wants to be into you?
I guess in a way he maybe not projecting it through me, but he is making sure that I don't even get half as close to the mistakes that he made.
Do you know the mistakes he made?
I don't think I know all of them. I think I only know what he wants me to
Maybe
know.
that's something to ask Dad. Yeah? It's just research, Dad. What are the mistakes you made? Just so I stay away.
I think I only know what he wants me to know. So
Okay. And what about parent management? Is that something you consciously think about?
parent management, like in the future, how?
21-year-old or 15-year-old. I had a curfew.
Mm-hmm.
Was 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And as I grow every year older, it was an hour later. So when it was 7 o'clock, I would usually come back by 8.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was 9 o'clock, I would come back by 10, to a point that they kind of got used to it, saying, okay, that's a grace period of 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually they got used to the idea, and I got to stay a little later. In my head, I managed them. Maybe they managed me, knowing that I was doing that.
Yeah. So I think I figured that out a little while before, because like I said, my curfew is 6.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to push it to 6:30, 6:45. Maybe if I'm extremely lucky on a
What
day,
was the
7.
reaction?
On some days, this is where it's like kind of hard to get him, because on some days he doesn't bat an eye. He's just like, oh, you're home. Okay. And I'm just like, huh? Like that's not normal. And then these other days he's just like, it's 6:45. Why are you coming home so late? The next time you come home at this time, I'm not letting you in through the door. I'm like, you were fine with it yesterday.
Maybe that's the time you should ask him, how was work, Dad? Or how are you and Mom doing?
Oh, that opens a whole other can of worms. God forbid.
Because a lot of those could happen because of that trigger, not you. Really.
Oh yeah. So my safest move is I sit there, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Pick up my bag, go up to my room, wait for about 40 minutes and come and I'll be like, hi Daddy, how was your day? And then he's like, now you want to talk to me all sweet.
Back to that boyfriend, because that's the biggest pain point for any father.
Mm-hmm. So I haven't had one, and I will
Obviously,
be really...
you won't admit to it right here on public airwaves. But
I would if I'll be really honest with you. The whole reason I've never had a boyfriend is because I'm absolutely terrified of my father.
that's the outcome. But
Yeah.
what about the intention?
Like, the thing is, obviously, one other thing is my dad is very pro arranged marriage. And he believes, and I hear the pros and cons he has to say, and it does make sense. But at the end of the day, especially something like a relationship or marriage cannot be logic and reasoning. A lot of it is emotion. A lot of it is comfort and vulnerability and safety. And maybe that's just a generational gap, but he believes that when it's an arranged marriage, you have two whole families supporting the two of you, right? So we put you guys together, and no matter what happens between you two, we will be there. Which leads me to a question that is like, so you're telling me if I pick a partner for myself and something goes wrong, you're not going to back me up?
Yeah, but most parents say that if you're going to choose your own partner, then you've got to deal with the consequences of that choosing. But we will hang out with you, supporting you and not your choices.
Yeah, and I mean, actually, no, my dad's actually really clear about that too. He's just like, you know what, if you are so adamant on wanting to go live your life, you live it. And I'm not saying, and he always makes it a point to say, I'm not saying this in a passive aggressive way, but as a parent, I come and give you guidance, and I expect you to take that guidance. And if you don't, then my guidance stops.
So
I
what
pull
about
back.
this whole thing in Hindi, they say, right? Sabki suno aur apni karo.
That is what I do, and
Is
that is
that-
what he doesn't like. That is what I do. And the thing is, I am...
No, I'm still going into this space about your intention.
Yeah, so, I mean,
What kind of a guy do you think works for you? I mean, you're what?
20.
20.
So, I mean, I guess for me, it's the kind of guy I would want to end up with has to be someone who, like, just understands that, you know what, you're not the only one with issues, because this isn't just my dad, but
Issues?
yeah, in the sense that most of or like older generation marriages function on, oh my God, I've gone to work, I've come back home, I'm tired. Don't ask me a question, don't tell me what to do. I want to eat dinner and I want to sleep. That's all I want to do. And it's just like, hello, the girl has had a hard day. If I have work, then I'm tired from
How
work.
do you react from tired from work? That's most guys, by the way. I guess we're wired like that. We need some downtime and go into our cave kind of thing. What's your reaction if you came back from work like that?
Yeah, I would
What
want.
would you want to do?
I would want the same thing. If not for that, the only thing at least what I want is for someone, for me to just go and just be like, oh my God, do you know what a tough day I had? Do you know how exhausted I am right now? Can we just sit right now and just like not think about anything else? And maybe we'll either talk about work or we'll talk about something entirely different. But I want to detach from the idea that.
But you want to keep talking. That's it.
Preferably.
Right. And he wants silence.
You communicate that. You don't come to
But
me
you
and lash
already know it.
out. How do I know it? See,
Well,
there are days I want to talk, there are
you
days I
just talked
don't.
about it. You just knew that this is what a guy would do and say.
Yeah, but the difference there would be you walk into the house and you say, listen, I've had a really hard day. I really want some downtime. I just want to go to bed.
But how about just assume that and give it to him? And
Why?
likewise.
What's the point
and
of
likewise.
what's the point of being
It's a
in a
half an hour.
communicative relationship?
It's a half an hour.
Is it?
Usually.
That's not what I've seen. Or maybe that's where
or
my
the
opinion
solution
comes
would
from.
be, okay, so is this how your household is like, your mom and dad?
Yes, that is pretty much how it is, because my dad does his job because my dad's one thing is he wants to give everyone what they can have, but in which process he tends to forget that he calls himself an ATM because he acts like an ATM. All he does is, listen, I'm getting you everything you want. You want to go out to the mall, you have the money for that. But I want you to be here, Dad. I want you to be like, oh my God, I had a tough day at work. Oh my God, I'm so exhausted. Oh my God. Like, talk to me and actually be present in the sense that I know that your only role in my life isn't just go to office, come home, give us the money, and then go to office again, come home, give us the money, and go.
Okay, Dad, I'm with you here. Okay? I'm working on this with you. So what if he just came that way and half an hour later you would go to him and then ask him all this? Would that kill you or him?
No, and that is what I do. But the thing is,
that's called management.
so here's why the issue comes in. My dad does not take half an hour.
How long does he take?
All night. And then he's up the next morning running back to office.
Okay, so he's on a treadmill really.
In a way,
He can't
yeah.
get off. He just know how to get off.
Yeah, and the thing is, I understood that. It took me a while to understand that, okay, you're not actually willingly trying to ignore your family. But I mean, there's gotta be some way that you're willing to come and talk to us. Like on the weekends, I go and I
Do
try
you
to
push
talk.
it with him?
Oh, 100%.
And?
There are very rare instances where he's just like, oh my God, fine, get off my back. You know what? Okay, you want to talk? Let's talk for a little bit. And that happens probably once a week or once in
Oh,
2 weeks.
I was thinking once a month. That's pretty good, once a week.
That's now. That's now after I have started, which baffles my family, but I'm the only one who actually goes to my dad and I'm like, hello?
I'm getting to all of this, guys, because this relationship has a lot to do with how her relationship is going to go with other men or man in her life eventually. And how she would continue to feel about you as a father, even as an adult woman, in her 50s maybe. And that's the time when you become the child and she becomes the mom or the parent. And this will carry on to that age. So in your interest, when you become the child, you'd want the same thing she's wanting from you now. But by then, that wall is so thick that you don't know how to get across and she doesn't know how to break through with the voice. So what do you want to tell your dad now?
I mean, I guess it's just that I do see that you're struggling. I do see that you have very hard days. I do see that at any given moment you just want to stop and take a breather as well. But just know that we are on the other side waiting to give you that breather. All you need to do is be like, yes, I'll take it. And we are willing to give you that. Your whole family, not just me. We're willing to give you that. It's just run to us when things get hard, not just when you want to give us space.
Hard time.
Sure, I guess.
All right. Now, is he supportive?
Depends on what aspect
Just
you're
whatever
talking
you want
about.
to do. Where was he supportive? Where wasn't he supportive?
He is supportive with all of the bigger decisions I want to make in life. But there are some things where he will, without batting an eye, say, I'm putting my foot down. This is not okay. Like, he's not supportive with the smaller decisions that I have to make in my life. People that I want to pick, or how I choose to resolve conflict, or...
Does he have a solution to that? Other than don't meet anyone?
He does have a solution, but what he fails to realize is that I'm not him. He gives me solutions that would work for him, things that he would have done.
But have you tried it just to humor him?
Yes.
And did it work?
No, because I can't even go through with it.
Give me an example.
For example, my dad says that I had a lot of conflict with my childhood best friend, who I very unfortunately had to stop talking to because I could not take on her stuff anymore. She was a lovely girl, but it got really hard. So initially, my dad considered her a bad influence because she was someone who used to have boyfriends. And he was like, don't hang out with people like that. They're going to influence you to do the same thing. And I used to tell him, I'm like, I'm not that stupid. You know that you've raised me to be a girl who doesn't get influenced.
So when she did have boyfriends, I'm assuming this was in school.
Yes.
Okay. That's when you're discovering these hormones. Mm-hmm. So what did you think of her?
I really didn't. I was like, you do you, bro. Like, I was scared, but then again, it's not...
But did you have peer pressure?
Oh, 100%. I used to say I had crushes on guys simply because people would come to me and be like, so who's your crush? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have one. And then I'd just look in the room and I'd be like, that one will do. Yeah, I think it's him. And I would just be like, I'd go for that for the rest of the year.
And you're still in that space?
No, now I'm a little too picky choosy, I guess.
Well, that time too, clearly. But sounds that different. You're just using different words.
Yeah, I mean, back then I just didn't care enough. I was like,
So did you find anyone that you said you could actually?
I have. Okay, see, I'm not going to deny the fact that I haven't had crushes. I have.
You're 20. How many would you have had?
3, 4, maybe up until now.
From all in college?
From the end of school to college.
Right, so all in college.
Yes.
That's been how many years?
4, 5 years, I guess.
So 3 in 5 years.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 guys. See, that's the thing. Like,
Dad, what are you worried about?
And that's the thing. I feel like he always... there was this guy that I claimed was my crush in school, and apparently I liked for 8 years, which now that I think back to was absolute bullshit because I did not like him. He was actually my bully in school, and I used to think I liked him because he was the guy I picked in that crowd when I was in the 2nd grade.
Stockholm syndrome. Psychologist.
So after I got out of school and I was in PUC, my dad looked at me. He was the one guy, him and my other friend were the one guys I got home during COVID because my parents were like, you know what, you haven't met any of your friends and you play like PUBG and Call of Duty with these guys, why don't you go? And I was like, okay. And they were like, no going anywhere, actually bring them home, keep the door open, sit in the hall. And I was like, you know what, I may as well have just not met them. But either way, like a year later, my dad comes to me, he's like, you liked him, huh? I'm like, no.
But did you?
I don't think I did, but then I was convinced I did. So I was just like, no, I didn't like him.
Okay, we're talking about then. We're not talking about realizations. I mean, tomorrow you might marry this dude and 10 years later might decide he's not for you. But at that time, he was okay, right?
Yeah, so I was like, no. And then he was like, I've been your age before. And every time he makes that statement, I'm just like, then why do you act like this? If you know what it's like, why do you make me shiver in my timbers?
It's more like, if you were my age, Dad, what did you do to that girl? That you were so afraid they would do to me.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's the whole... Oh my God, my dad, I believe him because I see how he is with my mother now. Sorry. But he's always told me, he was like, I didn't even have the energy or the effort to be like, oh, I'm going to go hit on a girl and then follow her around a bunch and then make her like me and then take her out.
He was just lazy.
Yeah, and he said that. He was like, I was too lazy to ever want to have a girlfriend. Like, sure, even I looked at girls and I was like, wow, she's really pretty. Wow, she's really this. And I just never did anything about it because I didn't want to.
Oh, he didn't have the courage to.
No, he just didn't want to. He's like, it's too much work. Okay. And I see that in action now. So, and then my mother is this whole version of, I had one crush and it was a cricketer. I have never, and I'm just like, how was I born to you people? Is this the generation? Is it me? I will never know. God.
So arranged marriage there?
Yes. So arranged to the point where the first time they met was their engagement. Like they saw each other. My mother and my dad had one small conversation about, I have three things I want from this marriage. I have three things I want from their marriage. Yes, yes. Engagement photos of both of them just sitting there like with these thumbs up bottles and being like,
So what are your three things if you had that conversation today?
okay, you don't call the shots in my life. I don't call the shots in yours. We discuss it. We talk it through. We find middle ground.
Okay.
Two, my parents are just as important to me as yours are to you. So you do not get to tell me, oh my God, don't go to your mom's house. I will go. She is my mother. That is my father. If I will take care of your parents, I will take care of mine as well. And three...
Well, you missed something there.
What?
If I take care of your parents, you take care of mine too.
Oh, yeah, he better. He doesn't get a choice there.
I know,
So,
but you didn't
oh,
say
yeah,
it.
I didn't say it. Yeah. So both of our parents are both of our parents. Or both of our parents are not our parents. If you want to live as a nuclear family, then we'll do that. But I am not exclusively, just because I got married into your house or whatever they say, I'm not going to go exclusively care for your parents while I'm not even allowed to visit mine. That is not happening. And number three is no secrets. Absolutely no secrets. I don't care what you've done in your life. And which is the whole reason I feel like an arranged marriage just wouldn't work out. Because if I know you...
Reminds me of a movie dialogue about, I think it was A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. And Tom Cruise asks him, I want the truth. Jack Nicholson, can you handle the truth? So can you?
I mean, that's what depends, which is why I feel like arranged marriage as a concept probably worked back then, but it will not now, because I need to know you. If I know you as a person and
Well,
I
how are you
know
going to
that...
know if you can't have a boyfriend?
That's my
Dad.
point. Dad! I'm not saying I want one, but wouldn't hurt if I can figure out who this guy is. Because imagine I'm married to this guy for 5 years and then he comes and tells me I actually murdered someone, but it's just that we never spoke, so you never knew. Who would want that? Like, I'm willing to sit there. If I've known you for a while, you come and tell me everything you've done wrong in life. Because I've known you for a while, I will know that you have changed. I will know that you are past your mistakes. I will know that what mistakes you might be capable of, and I'll know what I'm signing up for. But if I just wake up one day and I say, okay, so this is your salary, this is where you're settled, this is how your family is, and this is what you're willing to offer me, sure, I'll marry you. That is not marriage. Marriage is supposed to be about, I love you enough to spend my whole life tied to you.
Now, is your observation at home with your parents' marriage designing your
Heavily.
utopian marriage?
Heavily. And this is a statement that my mother likes to say to me very often. She's like, just because me and your father fight doesn't mean we don't love each other. I'm like, I don't believe that. Because I know the thing is about an arranged marriage is you're not in love, you learn to love. Because you have to love
What's
this
wrong with
person. That just doesn't seem like what marriage is supposed to be, at least to me.
I mean, who's written the rules of what it's supposed to be?
No one has, but I feel like in my life, I would like marriage to be like, I don't know if there's this reel about...
I mean, here's another counterpoint, okay? Most couples fight. All right, you will too. I mean, just by knowing you for this hour or so we're on this chat, you will fight. But the day that doesn't happen, imagine your parents are not fighting at all. Would that be okay?
No.
That balance in everything, including your emotional expressions. You don't get overly happy, nor do you get overly sad.
True.
You don't go towards your masculinity or too much into your femininity.
Very true.
Well, that's not ideal, though. Everyone strives, not everyone strives even. But
True. And I feel like the whole reason that would be an issue is because one thing I've noticed, I have seen one or two couples fairly close to me that have been in long-term relationships where I've seen them...
okay, long-term relationships, define that. Live-ins?
Not live-ins, because that does not fly just yet as
No,
easily
so what
as
is
it
a
would.
long-term relationship then?
They have been together. One couple I know has been together for 4 years, and the other one that I know has been together for 8.
Correct. In your paradigm of 20 years of life, it can't be that long.
Yeah, so...
2-3 years is long for you right now.
yeah.
Right.
So in those relationships, one thing I've seen is if they, and these I'm talking about the ones that I see are functional and healthy, they find not only compromises, but they actually mold themselves
okay, so
to...
you said compromise. the word in itself means that you're doing something you otherwise wouldn't like to, but for the sake of
Exactly.
peace, you're doing it.
Exactly. So there are some
So how
compromises.
functional is that? Why is that
That is
functional then?
functional because I mean, of course, you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't, if you want to be the exact way that you are, people will always be like, okay, see, this is something about you that doesn't sit right with me. This is something about the way you function
But
that I'm not
don't you
okay
think
with.
that's in any relationship at any age?
Precisely, which is why compromise is a very important part of a relationship, but it can't be just compromise or it can't be just from one person. Again, there
Right.
is a
So
balance
if I
to
had it
find
tough,
there.
you also have it tough. If I'm compromising, you better.
It's if
No.
I'm compromising, we both
But isn't
compromise.
compromise an offshoot of attitude? Because if the person with the right attitude for himself or herself doesn't have to compromise, it doesn't feel like one.
Yeah, well, that I wouldn't use the word compromise in terms of attitude at all. I'm
Correct,
talking about
so-
compromise more in terms of lifestyle and decisions and stuff like that.
In the concept, since you're a psychologist or wanting to be one, what if this concept were to take more wind? Is not liking what you want but liking what you have. They're both like. Like in itself means, yeah, I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. Right? Okay, I have some water in here. I would have wanted something else in that water. But I have water. Yeah, I like water. So in relationships, when you maybe do that, there is no such thing as compromise.
But
Both ways. I'm not talking about
no,
one way.
that's
Yeah.
fair. But again,
As a
that
concept.
as a logic sounds slightly flawed to me because if you are choosing to do something as big as, see, with the case of family, right? You're born to a family. You can't, and I would never ask my family to be I would want them, again, like you said, I would want them to be a certain way, but I can't change them.
Do you have this conversation with your dad?
Not long enough. There is a quick shutdown as soon as he starts hearing things that are like, you are thinking in the wrong path. I will not
you
allow
can thank
you.
me later, Dad. I'm just trying to get more information out so you can consume this and maybe change a little bit and enjoy her independence that she so wants to
I
experience.
keep
right?
telling him that my independence would actually mean more to him. It's more off his plate, and
Her
he's just,
independence is your independence, Dad.
my independence is your independence, Dad. Take it. He refuses. He's like, no, you are my burden to carry until you are
Burden.
not.
Okay.
So with family, I can't change that, and I'm born to them. But if I willingly can choose a partner for myself,
But let's assume that you're choosing that partner because you want to do that. And 2 years down the line, he's not what everything you thought he would be. Maybe you'll end up liking that person
I could.
because you're liking what you have now, or you're going to change and say, okay, no, you're not going to cut it. I'm going to go look for someone else.
It really depends on what you're changing. If you're changing the absolute fundamentals of the person that I fell in love with, that's obviously not going to sit right with me.
Okay, so when you say that, it could happen on day 2, it could happen on year 20.
It could.
Yeah, so then what?
See, of course, I'm not going to call it quits the second something goes south. Okay, I'm going to sit there. I'm going to try to see where you're coming from. I'm going to try to see what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing
You
it. And
think
if
your
I can
parents
make
should have called it quits?
that, I may not be comfortable saying out loud, but I guess that is answer enough.
I mean, you're not alone. I mean, my daughter thought that we should have quit a long time ago, and now she's married,
yeah,
and
so
I'm asking her the same question.
I wouldn't want them to call it quits for my own selfish reasons, because of course I want my parents together. And
But
it's
why
just
do you
that
think they should quit? If you think that, since you didn't say
I
it loud.
don't think that. But if I did think that, I would think it because at times they genuinely do bring out the worst in each other.
At times,
That is again the savory answer.
okay.
More
most
often
times.
than not, they're blowing each other's heads off the roof, and they're just sitting there. They're like, you don't understand me. This is why I can't do this with you. This is why I stopped talking to you. This is why we have these many issues. This is why we fought back in 1997. Like,
And,
wait,
let
they
me
weren't even
guess,
married in
fought
97.
back in 1997. Your mother brought that up.
Oh, surprisingly, no, that was my dad.
Really?
Yeah,
we
because-
we don't have that long-term memory.
Oh, he does. He remembers things. My dad is an elephant. He remembers everything from the
But
past.
we remember, we just don't bring it up.
Yeah, and see, the funny thing is, my mom will bring it up in an argument with him. My dad will bring it up in a discussion with me.
Of course, that's venting because
Yeah,
you can't tell
so-
it to her, right?
Yeah, because
Because
like
then
my
she'll
mom
bring
is.
up there's this really there was this thing I read someday or I heard from someone. It's like, Guruji, tell me how do I know what's wrong with me? And the Guruji's answer was this, like, beta, just go to your wife and tell her something's wrong with her, and she'll tell you everything that's wrong with you. So
Okay, I can't really deny that. I've seen it come to play, but
yeah,
with
we all
them,
live this. Thank you.
I've seen how they are with each other, and especially after, like, I know that they tried for a very long time, but there was one very pivotal moment for my dad financially where he needed to make a really big call. And that decision put a lot of strain on their relationship to the
But how
point
did that
where
affect you?
when they
Because those things will happen in a household.
Exactly. It affected me because, in a way, post that argument or fight that they had, one is, of course, the energy in the house took a dip. No matter what time of the day it was, if you're in the house, there is that tension. There is that, oh my God, I'm not talking to him. He's not talking to me. Oh my God, go do this. Oh my God, go do that. And I'm like, this is like heavy. I don't want to be here. And if I'm in my room for too long, oh my God, you're not involved with the family. So I'm just like, okay, you guys are barely ever happy, because also they refuse to admit that I could be tired from outside the house.
Listen, campus gals, if you're listening to this and watching all of this, I'm sure you're all thinking, don't feel so special. It happens in our house too. And that is most likely the case, that it happens even in your homes. And the idea of doing the show is to have you relate to these things and see how you can take from here into your life. And some of that might end up working, some of that might not end up working. And as we continue doing more of these conversations with different people, it probably will try and bring a nicer middle ground between father and daughter in college, to be able to give the girls some wings, but keep a safety net somewhere far up above, and you know it and they don't. They think they're flying, but you know there's a net. And can you beat that net? I would love to carry on this conversation. It can happen flawlessly. Sometimes you just can't talk to the guests. Sometimes you can just talk too much. But it's my job to keep this way. You can start thinking about the things you've heard. Get your relationship with your campus gal to a point where she doesn't have to be in a gungat, and she can live with her head held high. And that's because you had the net so far above that she didn't even know it. The problem is, when they know you are the net, they want to fly out of it. So just get the net higher. Thank you for watching. This is Campus Dad, and I've had this lovely conversation with this 20-year-old Maithreyi. Maithreyi, thank you for being here. And
Thank you for having me.
how do you feel? I know I blindsided you with having this conversation. So now, what do you think about this?
I mean, I think this is a good thing to put out there. I am very nervous about what my dad might have to think if he does end up coming across this. I know I'm not showing it to him willingly, but
why not? Why wouldn't you?
because these are tough conversations to have, and I feel like there is also a lot of room for interpretation. And maybe within, especially because it's me, there might be a lot of, what did you mean when you said this? Why are you saying this?
Wouldn't that open up a conversation that you might want, because you say it doesn't last too long?
That's another way of thinking about it. You know what? Yeah, you're right. Maybe that is how I would like to go about it. But hear another side that actually wasn't just, no, I'm telling you this. So it was good to hear that campus dads also feel like their campus gals, they're just worried. And I know that, but we don't hear it often. So it's good to know that on the other side, it's just worry and not. You guys should come on here because it genuinely puts so much perspective into your head. Because I know, look at me in the eye. You know that most of what I was saying, there were 3,000 other thoughts lined behind that. And you and I both know what we were thinking. Okay? So just know that dads can be a bit of a thorn in your side, but they're your dad. They want the best for you. And it is also your job to kind of push that boundary and make them realize that they are supposed to be there for you, and also be a little empathetic of them. Dads are not here to ruin your life.
And some dads are. Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to tune into the other episodes of Campus Dad. My name is Anil with Maithreyi.